Well, as usual, I forgot to turn the mic on. So here I'm explaining that I'm adding stems to the skinny pencil tree. Well, you can hear me now. Again, I forgot to turn the mic on, but I plugged it in. So, as you can see, it's already looking a lot better and fuller and prettier. I have 6 of these little pine cone branches. So I'm going to fill in now with those. And I'm shaping them where they're kind of a little drapey so that they'll hang out, protrude out a little bit. I've now added the rest of the stems in. I've added some of these little berries and these little faux birch sticks. And I also added 2 ornaments because that's all I have of them. This little birdhouse, and I've got another one down here, and I'll show you in a second. But I wanted them to be displayed prominently before I start the ribbon. So let me show you the whole tree, and then we'll start the ribbon. And there's the whole tree. Now let's start the fun stuff, the ribbon. As I mentioned before, there are a lot of different ways to add ribbon into your tree. A lot of folks like to do the garland type where they go round and round and round. That uses the most ribbon, the most yardage. I enjoy just adding it in spots here and there. There's so many different ways to do that. So I'm going to show you a couple of those, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on this tree. You could simply use 1 ribbon if you'd like, or you can use up to 4 or 5, and I'll show you how to do that. This ribbon is one of the ribbons that I have chosen to use. Let's say I just wanted to just use it. Let me show you how I would do that. First of all, I cut my cute little V. This needs to be wired ribbon. It won't work if it's not wired, and this is wired ribbon. Okay, so I cut my cute little V. Just let that drop. I'm going to come down about 4 to 5 inches. This is a small tree, so probably 4 to 5 is good versus like 6 or 7. And I'm going to pinch it in my fingers, and then I would pick a spot that I wanted to have it in the tree, and actually use the tree branch to tie that off. That little thing doesn't want to stay up there. Then you want to pull the ribbon toward you. Give yourself plenty of room, at least probably, well, that's about 14 to 16 inches on this tree. On my big tree I did about 18 inches. But you come down, pull it towards you, pinch it in, and because it's wired, it's going to kind of want to go a certain way, so just turn it and see what you like. I think that looks pretty cute. And then wire it in to another branch. And you could continue doing that with another loop, or you could just cut it off in a V right here and have a tail and go another location. Now, let me show you another option and show you what I'm going to do, which is actually to use the ribbon to make some bows to put in the tree. And I'll show you all the ribbons that I've chosen. The red, this plaid. I think it might be called barberry, or I think that's what it's called. So that one. And this is one of my favorites. It's the birdhouse with the cardinals, which goes with the birdhouse and is also going to go with some cardinals that I'm going to put on the tree and some other little birdies. And lastly, this really woodsy, unique looking ribbon. You can do this with just 2 ribbons, 3 ribbons, and in this case, 4. So, the first ribbon I'm going to choose to use will be the one that will be used the least, and it's going to be in the background, and so that's going to be this plaid. So the first thing I do is cut my V for the tail. So I like that. That looks like a pretty good sized tail for this tree, not too big. So next is I'm going to use the red. So I'm going to come down again, pinch it, and I'm working, holding it in my right hand. I'm left-handed, so I'm holding it in my right hand between my thumb and my forefinger. Now, ribbon typically has a right and a wrong side unless you're buying really, really expensive ribbon. So when you want to make a bow and you've pinched it like this, you want to take the ribbon and twist it. That's going to help it to stand up, and when you make your loop in, it's going to be facing the right side and not the wrong side. So see, there's my loop. Now I'm going to twist it again and make my loop. These loops are about probably 5 inches. Okay, not going to cut the tail off. Now I'm going to grab my third ribbon. I'm going to use the cardinal box birdhouse ribbon next. Go ahead and cut my V. Should have done that before I started. It would have made it a little easier. And I'm going to bring it in with the tail, pinch it together, and I'm not going to loop it. I'm going to leave this long for right now. A little hard to hold when you're working with a lot of ribbons, but just hang in there. And now my last little woodsy stuff. And I'm going to put it same length here. Let it hang down. Now we want to tie it off. To tie it off, I use a pipe cleaner. So put it in the middle, right where you had your fingers. Bring it around the back side and really twist it where it's in there really well. Okay, now we're ready to add it to the tree. So I'm twisting it on one of the branches. There. And now I can fix the tails. The way I want them to go. Fix the bow. Okay, at this point, I'm going to take the red and this little woodsy see-through stuff. I'm treat them like one. So I'm going to bring it forward, come down, and decide where I want it to go. Kind of like it going that direction. And these branches are a little hard to work with. It's not a real expensive tree. So I'm going to use a pipe cleaner again to wire that onto the tree. onto a branch. I can kind of separate it. I like that. And now I will cut my tails. With the other ribbons, I am just going to cut a tail, but with this printed one here, making sure that I have a full birdhouse in there. Won't matter with this plaid. And you have a really nice bow. I would go through and put maybe on this small of a tree, probably not more than, 3 maybe. We'll see. We'll see what looks right. Lastly, something fun that you can do in the middle of your bow is add a stem, a pick of some kind. You can put the stem, normally you would put the stem on the back side, which gives the bow some real flair. But I found these little birdies that I thought were so cute. So I'm going to add them, just stick them in there. Into the center of the bow. And it's got this nice, pretty sturdy wire, so I can wrap that around a branch. I think that looks really sweet. So let me finish the bows and I'll come back. Okay, well, I'm almost done. I have added 3 bows and I have put in my ornaments, and now I'm ready to make the bow on top. So I want to show you how I'm going to do that, combining the 4 ribbons. So again, I'm going to leave a tail, but because it's at the top, I want a longer tail. So I'm going to kind of hold it up there and see how long I want. That looks like about right. So that's about a foot. So I'm going to pinch that, and I'm going to go in with my red ribbon. Same thing. Keep my tail about the same, maybe a little shorter. Now, this time, I'm going to twist, and I'm going to make a little bit bigger loop because it's on the top. So that's probably about 7 inches. So pinch it, hold it with my finger, twist the ribbon, bring it forward, make sure I've got them about the same length. Yep. And this time I'm going to make a 3rd loop. So twist. I'm going to make this 3rd one just a tiny bit shorter. Okay. Now, got my birdhouse ribbon again, need to leave about a 12 inch tail. And then finally, I'm going to grab my little weird ribbon, leave a tail on it, and this time I'm going to loop it also into some loops. Well, this stuff really sticks to itself. A little hard to work with. So I'm making a big loop, twist. Not sure there's really a right and wrong on this ribbon, but it does seem to stand up better if you twist. And then almost out, that works. Make one more loop here. Find my fingers here where I'm holding it all. And get me a nice big twist tie. Twist it really hard. You could use fabric coated wire, but I didn't have any, so okay, I'm going to get me a chair, hang it up, and then I will show you how I'm finishing it.
All done.
Starting at the bottom, I used some burlap fabric to make a makeshift skirt and hide the frame and the stand and the wires. And coming on up. And hands at the top. With the bow I made, and oh, what fun. Thanks for watching, and remember, bye.